we're very appreciative of the partnership that we're building with you.
So actually you've signed a partnership and we don't know that much about it. So it's the perfect occasion to say more about the way that it's going to work.
We're saying nothing. It's very, very early days, but I think we've identified specific titles on both development slates that we'd like to pursue. I think it gives us a framework to work within and a motivation. And Catherine said that this morning. There's nothing like having a pathway that everyone can see that helps motivate people. So it's over the years we've always had conversations with various public broadcasters, and you spend an hour talking and chatting, you love each other, and then at the end of the day nothing ever happens. Well, in this case we've signed a legal document, we're motivated to do something about it, we're putting our genre heads, so the head of scripted and the head of non-scripted and the head of children's, Libby is here already networking, together with the CBC genre heads to do practical things. And I think that's what this means, really.
Do you feel that public television needs to invest more and to focus more on news and information and magazine, because it's basically something where you are most respected and actually where the new players are not acting yet? So you've got a place where you can actually be even more relevant than ever. And of course, with the big question of budget, you might have to actually ditch other things too, because you need to focus on some of aspects. So what's your mind about, because you stress out the very importance of the news and magazines in your programming, but of course it's very expensive, and as you said, budget is not unlimited.
No. I mean, I think if we look at all the genres of content that we're producing, we're investing the most in news right now, and I think that it is tremendously important. I'm proud of Frontline because no one else is in that business anymore in the States. 60 Minutes to a certain extent, and that's it. I think that in the case of the journalism, I mean, we're not the place where we're in a different business than my two colleagues to my left. One is we don't run radio. We work in partnership with National Public Radio. But we also are not the place you come for breaking news. We're the place you come for the contextualization of news. But I also think there's an enormous role for us to play in public media around news literacy. We're working on a project now that would, that is, as we just saw with the Nancy Pelosi video, how do we help the public understand what they're seeing and what has been? Because I think the risk of propaganda, the risk of manipulation of media is just exploding. And I think that for us in public media, we were both chatting about this morning separately. I think that there's a real significant role for us to play in helping the public discern the accuracy of what they're seeing. How do you actually look at, particularly in social media space, how do you stop people from sharing information that is clearly incorrect or propaganda, and how do you help people really discern accuracy from all of the direct that is floating around? I think that's a big role for us. People tend to think of media literacy and they happen to think of children, and I think that's a piece of it. But I think there's an even larger piece for the general public to really help to investigate and to get at the heart of all of this information that's just misinformation that's floating around.
And I think that's all really well said. I don't need to repeat it, I just endorse it. But I would add two other thoughts to it. One being that we are sort of dovetailing our desire to reach younger Canadians with the responsibility we feel in news. We launched a kids news service recently, which is also going to launch in French Quebec with my colleague Michelle, because we really do believe that young Canadians are interested in information. They need it in a form and on a place and a platform and in a way that they can grasp it. We got kids talking to kids, young people explaining things to young people. I think that's the beginning of news literacy for young people. I think that's both a responsibility for us and a huge opportunity to engage kids. So we look forward to growing that offering. I think then also, though, our other responsibility, interestingly, in Canada is not only to make sure Canadians are understanding what's coming in from around the world and that they get what's true and what isn't and they feel confident with that news, but it's also within Canada. We're a very complex country. with a wide range of opinion and approach coast to coast. And it's important that Western Canada understands and hears from the East and the North, and what the North calls the South, and that we are playing a real role at the CBC of making sure that Canadians have an opportunity to really hear the opinions and understand the points of view. And we can use our news organization to help support that within our borders, as well as take the world into Canada and help Canadians understand what's going on elsewhere. So at the end of the day, news and information and current affairs and our radio platform, which is so powerful, I don't know if I said it, so powerful, is just extraordinary, and we need to use that with great purpose and intent.
You could have done the same thing, Michael. Because
I could say the
today,
same thing.
and we've seen that with the recent election in Australia. The
Yes,
country is
absolutely.
more divided than ever.
Absolutely. We are amazingly well trusted, and we should be the trusted guide through news and current affairs, and we love playing that role. In the recent federal election, our Triple J friends went out and about and they translated what an election means for young people, and they were able to put forward young people's thinking, their huge connection to the environment, their worry for social community and the Great Barrier Reef and all of those things. So I think now that more than ever, coming from a place like Australia, which is a place that has a lot of external influence, it's really important to remain trusted and to remain committed to news and current affairs.
The last question, and it may be a rather tricky one, I would like to ask you, each of you, one upcoming program that is very dear to you, and for you is like what your channel, your organization is known for, and that you are standing for. It could be news, it could be fiction, it could be scripted, but for you that embodies, as we said, the values of what you're fighting for.
We have a brand new children's series that actually we're working with the CBC on called Molly of Denali, which premieres next month. And it is the first program in the U.S. that features an Indigenous character as the lead. And all of the production work, as well as the actors, are also Indigenous people. It is, I think, the curriculum behind it is informational text and helping children navigate that. But I think the opportunity to allow children who have not seen their own experiences reflected is really important. And we've done a little bit of focus group in advance of the release of the series, and parents are interested in the informational text piece of it, but they are particularly excited of the fact of this is an opportunity for their children to learn about the life of children with whom they have a great deal in common, but may not know a lot about. So I think that's a good example. And that is being done as a broadcast event, but we're also launching a podcast in advance, and obviously it'll be a multi-platform project. So in addition to the fact that I think it's going to be a significant series, I think it also is a series that we're paying attention to how children might experience it and making sure that we're connecting to people wherever they want to watch, whether it's through over-the-air broadcast or it's from the new platforms.
It's your choice.
Oh, you're trying to get me in so much trouble. I'm going to cheat and say two. I think I would say on the entertainment side, I would pick Trickster, which is a new drama that's coming this year, which is based on a novel written by an Indigenous writer here in Canada, and we're, it's an incredible story, so it will just be a great show, and, it comes from an author that we're very excited to get that voice out there, and the project is all Indigenous-led from a creative team point of view, so it's really helping us to really make a statement of our commitment to reflecting contemporary Canada. So I would have to sort of highlight that. But I'm also going to say really fast that I think in next year, when I think of programs that are going to really matter to Canadians and the CBC is going to do, it's going to be our coverage of the national election. And it's going to be the national. There's going to be that program of record for Canada. And I think this fall that's going to be a critical show for us.
So you've been through that, Michael, so it's done, the election has been done, so
Yes.
for you, what's your...
So very quickly, I can name every genre that I have a favourite show in, so I won't do that now. But we've done some extraordinary high-end drama with Indigenous writers and performers and directors and producers called Mystery Road.
Which was a huge success
Which is a
worldwide.
massive success for us. We have some extraordinary drama coming. We're doing a show with Kate Blanchett about a refugee camp, which is very dear to Australia's
Stateless.
heart. And stateless, and you know, my favourite of all time, and something that Australians are embracing, is Bluey. I mentioned it earlier only because it's one of the first animated series that captures the spirit of Australia through blue heeler cattle dogs, very famous cattle dog, sheep herding dogs and kangaroo herding dogs in Australia. What's great about it is it uses Australian voices, and we're not ashamed of that. They're not very thick accents, you will be able to understand them, but they're Australian voices in an animated series that shows the colours and the textures and the light that Australia can bring to a show that is distinctive from other things.
Okay. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you, Paula. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Michael. We're on time, perfect on time. It's like 2:30. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.